the last video we have learned about Angular reducer. We also learn how to dispatch a action, and from the reducer how to use the reducer to set the states and all the stuff. We also have work on the viewing the list here from the backend API using our success, but this was a sample data that we have done and we post it directly here. In this video, what we're gonna start is, instead of doing this fake data, what we can do is we're gonna learn about creating a effect. Now effect is a separate mechanism where you handle the side effect on Angular. So let's get started. So what I'm gonna do is create a file, name it as a post.effect.ts, and our workflow will be, whenever we come to the post, we gonna call the load post, and whenever load post is listened in the effect, what we gonna do is we gonna use this effect to be able to load the data from backend and send the new data to our store, so that in our reducer it gonna catch as load success. So let's get started. So effect will be a service. We can just say that is injectable, and then export class post effect, and that's it. And we need to register this effect directly in our config. If you see, we don't have any effect here configured here. So to be able to configure, what we have to do is we do the provide effect, and that way we have the effect already set up directly here. And then what we can do is directly add the post effect. Now once we have it, we should be able to see that nothing changes, but in our dev tool we're gonna see the effect is initialized. So this is good. Next thing what we're gonna do is write our effect itself. We shall gonna be load the post. So for that we're gonna say load posts, and usually effect is noted by like this, and we say create effect. Now in the older version this is used in different way. We're gonna use the newer version now. So when effect is created, what it asking for is your state. So what we can do is we need first the action, as well as we need to call the service, right? So first thing is we need the action. Now we don't have the action here already, so what I'm gonna do, use the constructor, use a private action. We can write it actions, and we say these dot actions. Now whenever I have this action, what I want is I want to set a pipe on it. So because it can have any type of action, right? So if I have a pipe and I'm gonna check what is the type of this action. So of type, and if you remember when we sent the list, we said the load post. So we're gonna say the same here as well. If it is type of load post, then what we gonna do is we're gonna run a exhaust map where we're gonna call the API. It just switch context. Whenever I found this, we're gonna call a backend API. Now for calling the backend API, if you remember, we had this service call. We're gonna use the same call. So for that, we registered the post service. So we said that this dot post service dot get all, and then we're gonna say pipe again. So whatever data we return back from the service, we want to be able to send this data to our action. So we're gonna say map okay, we have the pipe, and then we're gonna say map where we're gonna have all the posts whatever we return. And if you see, we have in the post action we have success, and success actually takes a post list of posts, right? So we're gonna send the data of this. So we're gonna say post is equal to post, and now this can be shortened to just only post. So I returned the data already. Now what happen if I have any error, right? Now in case of error, I can just send another exception. So if I have any exception of catch error, I can do is, okay, this need to import. What I can do is I can send another one in error, right? Now in error, what I have is I have errors as a string. So I can just say something went wrong. So if we have it, we can now you notice it's observable. So instead of that, what we could do is just for now send a empty, but that will also work. um, let's run a empty, that will also work. However, if you see empty is nothing but subscriber is completed. I can do that where I need a error. This will also work. So in that case, if I have a success and failure both are done, I know that even if I don't have it, this would also work, but then I need to be able to create a subscriber observable here. So rather I do that, I call this method, easily should work. Now if you see, if we run the application again, oh, no provider for HTTP client, is because we don't have the HTTP client imported to our module itself. Usually whenever we have a module, we need to be able to import all the related HTTP module as well. Now remember, first thing is, one thing is we have imported our provider effect here. This is fine, but what we should have done is, since we have our effect in this module, we could just use this place to import the effect, and that way we don't have to import the HTTP client module directly in the root. So if I run it, you'll see that I have all the posts loaded. Why is happening is because when I say load post in the action, I'm sending a success message, and this loading all the data from my backend API when I was calling the backend data. Now this is how we usually call a effect to load a data from backend. And now this makes really a good example how we can handle our edit and delete, right? Which we're gonna see in our next video, where we're gonna be able to add a post. Whenever we add a post, we're gonna add this to backend server, and we can just update our state. That's one way, or we can just trigger this method whenever we want to update, right? If we dispatch this, let's say 10 times, doesn't matter, we're gonna see that our dispatch is hitting so many multiple time, but our API is called only one time. This is so efficient, and if and it will gonna take the last call because of our exhaust map here with all the data. So I hope this will be useful, and see you in next video, where we're gonna see about how to add a post in this video. Thank you.